FIFA Ultimate Team today on this current channel, and we'll be having some talks whilst I'm playing FIFA as well. So I'll give you opinions early on about the Jose Mourinho sacking. As you all know, I'll give you my opinions and thoughts about the sacking of Mourinho that has been confirmed today by Manchester United. As I've updated you on my last two videos today, Ed Woodward has confirmed today that Mourinho has been sacked. Obviously he signed a new contract back in 2020, and obviously Mourinho's been paid what 20 odd million, 22 million pound payoff, for getting the sack by Manchester United, of course. And it is strange because it wasn't likely it was going to happen, because yesterday says he was still going to stay for the immediate future. I thought they were going to give him time, to try and get some players in the January window. Reportedly he was going to get hundreds of millions of pounds to spend in January, but George Mendes, his current representative, have confirmed the other week that he was happy at the club, he was fully committed at the club, and the club were happy with him. But Mourinho did say from his own perspective he wasn't said, but yeah, Mourinho's been officially sacked by Manchester United. So who's going to be potentially next? Mourinho, spent 2.5 seasons here. He won, the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Spent what, 400 odd million pounds on players. He hasn't had any good relationships with the players here, especially the top players. He's had disputes with the board as well as Jose Mourinho, as we all know, potentially. And this is our worst start to a season in 28 years. So this is basically why probably Mourinho has been asked, because the performances haven't been good enough this season, the results haven't been good enough this season. There's players that haven't been playing to the potential level this season, as we all know. But it has confirmed the statement, confirming, thanking him his time at Manchester United. So they have confirmed this today. It's all over Sky Sports and all that. So, and it's all over the media, and potentially this is now the third manager Manchester United have sat since Alex Ferguson's retirement. As we all know, we had 25 years of success under Alex Ferguson. Had great players. We had that attacking spirit about us, that flair. We had great players, and he succeeded in the transfer markets fantastically well. And once he was on the verge of getting sacked after 4 years, but obviously we know now the board is stricter. Then Ferguson recommended Moyes in, because they were both Scottish, but it didn't work out under him. Obviously he was an average manager, never really dealt with top players, potentially. From Graham Souness's opinion, he should have been given more time. Then we've got Van Gaal, had a bit of a decent pedigree, with Bayern Munich and all that, and he got a few players into the club, but didn't work out with him. And now we've got Mourinho, it hasn't worked out with him, because this season we've conceded what, 29 goals. That's the most goals that's more goals we conceded, more than the whole of last season, as I said. But this is big news. Mourinho sacked from Man United, because it wasn't looking like he was going to get sacked, potentially, because the reports I was saying yesterday, the board was still backing him. It was going to be still there for the immediate future, as it said. But I'm really shocked about this, because according to what George Mendes' statement said the other week, and yesterday saying he's going to be for the immediate future and stuff like that. But Mourinho has proven to be a well winner. He's won titles everywhere he's been, but I just don't think he's suited the shopping to the club. And Paul Pogba's tweeted on this situation. He's had a tweet on it. Gary Neville's responded to it, saying Pogba needs to do one from the club. But Mourinho, potentially, obviously we haven't been getting his main priority targets that we want, especially since Mourinho's come in. As I said, when we signed Matic last year, when we got Lukaku last year, he brought 11 players into the club, but Mourinho didn't get his major targets that he wanted. So basically, Gary Neville did say, obviously because the board didn't back him during the course of the summer, they withdrew from the signings that he currently wanted, Jose Mourinho, but they still gave him that contract until 2020, back in January. And it was 3 years ago, that he was sacked by Chelsea. That was on the 17th of December 2015. And he's well known for publicly criticising players, is Jose Mourinho. He's well known for it, whilst he was at Real Madrid, he had disputes with players there as well. I just think it was a matter of time before Mourinho, was going to leave, but I didn't think it'd have been now, because reportedly he was going to get loads of money to spend in the January transfer window, and I thought they may give him a bit more time to see who he could get in the January window. But that's not the case. I think Man United just come to an agreement that his time's over. He played, he managed in 144 games for Manchester United, 184 games, as I said. So it has confirmed anyway, guys, that the caretaker a caretaker manager is going to be confirmed in the next 48 hours or so. There's possibility it's going to be someone outside of the club. It isn't going to be Michael Carrick, I don't think, but reportedly it could be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Who's a great Manchester United player. But yeah, Gary Neville had a lot to say. He said he's basically said now Man United need to reset the structure, and he said basically this new man that comes in, whoever this new manager will be, needs to match the strategies of the club. Oh, just wide. Needs to match the strategies of the club. As I said, they need to match the key principles of the club. This is from Gary Neville's perspective, and Gary Neville has had to say on the situation, you know, also on Sky Sports, Klopp's, you know, been discussing about it and all that. There's been quite a few people talking about it. It's been in the news all morning about Jose Mourinho's sacking, as we all currently know. But yeah, Neville's had a say on it. Souness has had a say on it. Gary Neville's basically said now Man United need to reset the structure. This is what basically Gary Neville said on the situation. But as you heard Alan Shearer on Match of the Day, he said potentially Man United are not, the majority of the players are not playing to the potential level. He said only David De Gea is playing to his potential level. So potentially then he basically said the board didn't back him during the course of the summer. The question is, will the board back him in January? But even if he would have stayed, you know, at United, the question is, would the board have backed Mourinho in the January transfer window? But obviously now that can't happen, as we all currently know. But yeah, officially being sacked, Jose Mourinho. It has been confirmed. We're all shocked about this. I think Alex Ferguson will be shocked about this decision because potentially he just wasn't good enough for Manchester United. I don't think he was the right man for Manchester United. That, you know, he's been a winner in the past, and I just didn't believe that he could command us in that winning position where we wanted to be, and he hasn't met the expectation levels at the club since he's come, because as you know, his expectation was to go up there challenging for major honours and at least competing, and Mourinho has not done this since he's come to the club, and the only thing I credit him for doing is getting us, you know, is getting us to the FA Cup final last season and winning, you know, 2 or 3 trophies in his first season with the club. But you know, he hasn't met the expectation levels here, and we need the right man. You know, we need the right manager that knows about the club, that's got the right philosophy, that's got that winning mentality to command this club in the position, you know, that we should be in. Because these players, basically, you know, obviously the most of them are Mourinho's because he bought 11 players, have not proved to this manager how good they are. They have not proved to Mourinho how good they actually are, because this team is a good team, but they just wasn't gelling under Mourinho. And for me, Mourinho didn't know his potential best 11. As we all know, I think his team selections were wrong. I think his tactics were wrong as well. But yeah, it is a shock. It is a shock, and now it's the 3rd manager that's been sacked this season in the Premier League. It's our 3rd manager that's been sacked since Alex Ferguson's retirement, you know, so potentially we just need to recommend the right man in to come in, you know, address the problems at the club, you know, get Manchester United playing the football, you know, that we played under Alex Ferguson. Maybe get some signings in as well, but potentially you could say we have got a good enough team, so wouldn't need any signings just as yet. But yeah, so who do you think would be the right man to replace Mourinho? You know, the bookies have reportedly favoured Mauricio Pochettino. Reportedly he's not ruled the move out. Pochettino maybe coming to the Manchester United job. Obviously he has a good relationship with Mourinho as well. Does Mauricio Pochettino, as we all know. But yeah, you know, as Gary Neville said, you know, he's a good candidate. He thinks he'd be a good candidate for Man United. He has a good relationship with young players and stuff like that, and hopefully if he were to come in, he can build into this team, invest into this team, maybe get rid of the players who he doesn't think is good enough for the club. And we'll see what happens. At Pochettino, well proven in the Premier League, 7 years, hasn't won out in terms of silverware as a manager, but he has been managing since 2009. He's only spent £50 million since 2014 as Pochettino, and he played in his playing career for like a good 18 years or so, did Pochettino, but there has been rumours linking him with a move to Manchester United. And you know, I just hope he can turn it, whoever manager comes in can turn it around, get the team, you know, playing the way they should be playing, not this total shambolic performances we've shown this season under Jose Mourinho. We're a big, massive club, we're one of the biggest club in English football historically, and you know, and I said, as Mourinho was discussing about his, you know, his players, his several injured players he's got, saying that he thinks we could still get, you know, a couple of weeks ago, was it, or something, he said he was confident we could get top 4 by the end of the year. This was what Jose Mourinho said. He even said it after Liverpool, he thinks we could still get the top 4. He says we're looking for, look for 5th and then later get into the top 4, as I said, but we're sitting 11 points behind top four, as I said. So yeah, Pochettino could be one of the favourites to come in to replace Jose Mourinho. I love Pochettino. I think he's done a very, very good job with Tottenham. As I said, it would be good to come and see him experience these facilities and come to a newer era and deal with good players, because they are good players deep down. They just haven't proven themselves under Mourinho, and they haven't been playing to the potential level, because that is down to management, Jose Mourinho, as we all currently know. And you know, we've had the problems for years. And you know, there's another manager's name that's been mentioned. You know, there's been a few, you know, talks of who could come in. Zinedine Zidane is another potential manager that could come in. I love Zinedine Zidane. I think he's a very, very good manager. He did very, very good with Real Madrid. He's obviously not managing now, so he is available. That somewhere along the line he is available, obviously, because he's not managing now. But he was a good player with Real Madrid and Juventus. Won a lot of honours with Real Madrid and Juventus as a player, and won quite a lot of honours with Real Madrid as a manager as well. And Zinedine Zidane's obviously never played or managed in the Premier League, but I think he's got that ego about him. I think he could change Manchester United dramatically well, and I think he could get this team competing against Zinedine Zidane, because he is a well-proven winner, Zinedine Zidane, as I said. And I think, you know, Zinedine Zidane has had discussions with his representatives in the past about coming to managing English football, Zinedine Zidane. So yeah, there's been, you know, potential talks about him coming into the club. You know, we've mentioned Laurent Blanc. He's another potential name that's been mentioned on the radar. Laurent Blanc, obviously, I think it would be beneficial to come to United. I think he knows a bit about Manchester United as well. You know, he has a good relationship with Alex Ferguson, so him and Ferguson get on very, very well. Laurent Blanc, but Laurent Blanc, obviously, really highly experienced in France. As I said, won a lot of honours with Paris Saint-Germain and Bordeaux, and he's obviously managed France as well, the national team. As a player, he played for Manchester United in his younger days. Laurent Blanc, you know, won honour. He won Premier League with us in that year. Laurent Blanc. Also played for Barcelona his playing career. He played for quite a few teams his playing career, won honours with Barcelona as well, and he's won a lot of individual awards. Do you think he'd be the right man to come in at Manchester United, Laurent Blanc? You know, there's quite a few that have been mentioned. You know, you've got Mark Hughes, Steve Bruce, that's been mentioned. Obviously Steve Bruce and Mark Hughes are ex-Manchester United players. In terms of Mark Hughes, obviously he was sacked from Southampton early on in the season. For me, hasn't got really great managerial credentials, to be quite honest with you. He was great as a player for Manchester United. He won Premier Leagues and FA Cups and that with us, and you know, he played for Chelsea as well in his playing career, won, you know, honours with them, and he won League Cup with Blackburn, he won League Cup and, you know, FA Cup with Chelsea, and he won the Premier League and FA Cup with Man United and all that. So he was great in his playing career, was Mark Hughes. But since he's become manager, you know, he's managed quite a few teams, and most of his managerial career, you know, there have been short tenures. You know, obviously once he had a 4-year spell with Blackburn, he had a 4 or 5 year spell with Stoke, obviously, before he went to Southampton, and he played for Southampton in his playing career, and Everton, did Mark Hughes, as I said. But he hasn't won out in terms of silverware as a manager, so in terms of managing he doesn't have a good pedigree, does Mark Hughes. Steve Bruce being mentioned as well. You know, I know he's been mentioned as well as Steve Bruce to come in. So there's a lot of names that have been mentioned. Even Arsene Wenger's been mentioned, believe it or not, but I think that's very unlikely that Arsene Wenger's going to come in. You know, he's well proven in the Premier League. He's used to the Premier League because he was at Arsenal for 22 years, was Arsene Wenger, as we all know. You know, he was good for the 12 or 13 years of Arsenal, won silverware with them, had good players. You know, as I said, and he did really, really well with Arsenal. You know, but especially in the last stage of his managerial career, you know, he become a flop, and that's why they recommended Emery to come in. But Arsene Wenger has been mentioned as well. We need a manager somewhere along the lines a replica to like Pep Guardiola at City, Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, who's invested a lot of money in that Liverpool team. And look at the football he's got them playing. They've got huge talented players. Totally in a different generation to Jose Mourinho at this moment in time, especially. Same with Pep Guardiola. Spent over £1 billion at City. He's got good players. He's broken records, and he's doing very, very well with Manchester City as well. So we're going to find out in the next 48 hours or so who is going to be the caretaker manager. I think he's going to take over until the end of the season, I should presume. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see who it is who comes in, as I said. But yeah, Mourinho officially sacked as Manchester United manager. Goodbye, Mourinho. All we can say is, as the club said, thanks for your time. But if he'd have carried on, obviously he'd have ruined the team more. His team selections weren't right. And you know, this club is massive, we're a big fan base, and obviously, since Ferguson's retired, they've not been getting the money's worth. As I said, the form's not been good enough. What, we're sitting 19 points behind top, you know, behind Liverpool. First time in 40 years, Manchester United and Liverpool have been that far apart in the league table, believe it or not. I think it's 40 odd year ago, as I said, but Pochettino has not ruled the move out of coming to United. But potentially he did say the other week he was a happy man at Tottenham Hotspur, was Mauricio Pochettino. But he's Premier League proven. He's Premier League proven. We need a manager that knows about the club. We need to reset our structure, like Gary Neville said. Midfield needs addressing because we haven't got a midfielder that can potentially pass the ball, like Gary Neville said. We go to Cardiff for the weekend and we're going to know in the next 48 hours or so who's going to be our caretaker manager. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who we appoint in, because this team is a good team. It really is a good team. This team is a good team. In this season, he wasn't playing Mata regularly. He was one of our last minutes at the weekend against Liverpool, which he shouldn't, because he was. I think he was fully match fit to start from the start. Paul Pogba, you know, his and Mourinho's relationship were very, very bad, as we all know. Pogba hasn't played since Southampton from the beginning in the league, as I said. But I'm surprised they've put up with him till now, Jose Mourinho. You know, I knew he wasn't the right man for Manchester United. He had my backing. I backed Mourinho. You know, when he first came to the club, I thought he's going to be a successor, considering this guy's history. You know, he's won silverware everywhere he's been. I thought, I'm going to back this manager. He's going to get the right signings in, which he didn't, because the board didn't back him enough to get the right signings. But I thought, especially his first season, when he got Matic in, you know, and when he got Lukaku in, and you know, etc., etc., we wasn't getting as number one transfer targets that we currently wanted. We wasn't getting as number one transfer targets, but I thought, obviously they're average players, they're not brilliant players, we could get so much better. But I thought at the time I was backing Mourinho, the brilliance of Mourinho can turn these players very, very good and get them playing the football, you know. They should be, but yeah, and I said I thought things were turned around. I thought the turning point was Mourinho's job being under threat, you know, when potentially we lost to Sevilla in the Champions League, you know, when we got knocked out by them. That was the turning point, as I said. But we had the rumours early on, you know, it looked like he was going to get sacked before Newcastle, because there were rumours coming out of the media saying that Jose Mourinho, regardless of the result, is going to be axed from Manchester United, and that's what it potentially said. So, but as I said, Gary Neville's had a say on it. He says we need to reset the structure. He said we need to. Can we get the right manager in for the next 3 or 4 years into the club? This is what he potentially said, Gary Neville. So, Gary Neville's had a lot to say on this situation. This is big, big breaking news, because, as I said, I was in town today, I heard about it, and I didn't think it was going to happen. To be quite honest with you, you know, because according to reports yesterday, I even give you a live video yesterday that Mourinho was safer now. As I said, I even give you a live video on it saying that Mourinho was safer now, because it actually said they were keeping him for the immediate time being. Probably that means to see who we can get in January and see if he can possibly turn it around if he gets new signings in. Potentially what I heard, the board were backing Jose Mourinho then, basically, despite the Liverpool game. You know, he's still going to be Manchester United manager for the time being, as it did confirm. But yeah, it's big, big breaking news. Big, big breaking news is that, and we know Mourinho's proven to be winning. He has won titles everywhere he's been, and he's very, very arrogant, as well, as we all currently know, Jose Mourinho. But he hasn't met the expectation levels at the club, and a big club like Manchester United are not going to put up with it. Are just not going to put up with this nonsense, and it's as simple as that. We do go to Cardiff at the weekend, so we're going to know as caretaker manager before that. You know, we have conceded 29 goals this season. Defensively, we need to address the defence. We needed a prolific striker. As we all know, Lukaku hasn't been in form this season. Players have been struggling this season. We have had injuries. You know, Lukaku hasn't been himself this season, even though he's Premier League proven, playing senior football since the age of 16. Failed to replicate that form in his first season. You know, Matic has struggled since he's come to the club. As I said, we all had concerns when he came, but as I said, when I was back in Mourinho, I thought the brilliance of Mourinho could have turned him into a good player at Manchester United. You know, who else? You know, potentially Lindelof slightly improved this season when he's being fully match fit. you know, a lot of players have struggled this season for Manchester United, and a lot of players, the top players, have not been getting the game time that they should be. Mount hasn't been playing regularly this season. You know, Herrera early on in the season wasn't playing regularly as well. Mourinho wasn't playing Fred enough. You know, he paid £52 million for him. Hardly ever played him. Didn't play him much, as I said. So Mourinho basically was clueless at the game, and he was ripping the passion and heart out of the team. But you know, somewhere along the line, I hope the right man comes in, fixes the problems at United, and somewhere along the line, you know, creates a platform, builds on something, and gets Manchester United back to try and get us back competing for major honours and silverware and all that. That's what Manchester United need to do. As I said, like Gary Neville said on Sky Sports, I couldn't understand why the board didn't back him during the course of the summer. They withdrew the signings that he wanted to get, his main prioritised signings, but yet they give him a new contract back in January till 2020. That's what I didn't understand, as I said. But he's well known for criticising players. He's well known for it. He did it at Real Madrid. You know, Chelsea sacked him, of course. He was sacked 3 years ago on the 17th of December. Today is the 18th of December, as I said. But yeah, Mourinho sacked. Nothing much more to say in the process, as I said. So that has been confirmed. I will be watching more reports later on, you know, on Sky Sports. But next 48 hours, we're going to have an idea who's going to take over as caretaker manager. You know, we had Ryan Giggs as interim manager, was it 4 years ago, after David Moyes' 9 months, as we all currently know. But Ryan Giggs, obviously, he was a great player, he was a great legend. I love Ryan Giggs, but never really had that managerial experience, so I don't think he'd do any good. You know, so yeah, what manager would you want at Manchester United? I think we need a manager who's got great credentials. We know, obviously, Conte has been mentioned in the press in the past as well. When Mourinho has been under this immense pressure, Conte has actually been mentioned. As I forgot to tell you on the other videos, but I've updated you on, if you know, the videos are out there, you'll see my videos, what I've said about Conte. Conte, obviously, ex-Chelsea manager, as we all know, currently know. Won the Premier League with Chelsea in his first season. You know, he's obviously been the Italy manager, the Atlanta manager, managed Juventus as well as won honours. You know, played for Juventus in his senior career as well, but I don't think I'd really want Conte at the club. He's proven in the Premier League, you know, when he was manager in Chelsea. Obviously, he got the sack from Chelsea, as we all know, but he's been potentially mentioned as well. He was mentioned a long time ago in the media that Conte could replace Mourinho if he's sacked, but I can't see it being Conte, to be quite honest with you. But he's proven in the Premier League because he won the Premier League with Chelsea in his first season, as we all know. But the board don't mess about anymore. You know, you're not meeting them expectation levels. The team are not playing the way they should be, and that is mainly down to management. The management backs the orders. They make the decisions in the game of what they do. The managers make the decisions in the game of what they do, and that to change the team around. The managers put the team out for match day matches, and Mourinho's team selections were currently not right, and he wasn't the right man for Manchester United. Even if he'd have stayed to the end of the season, I wouldn't have had any confidence that he would have pushed his team forward. I think we'd have got a hell of a lot worse if Mourinho would have stayed at this club, as I said. But big shock to everyone. I think it's the first piece of good news that we've heard this season, in my opinion. We've heard a couple of other decent news as well about, you know, potentially, obviously players coming to end the deals, but we've heard of Smalling signing a new deal till 2022. He's been here 9 years now. Obviously another 1 year option till 2023. We heard of Martial. Man United have activated a 1 year extension on his current contract. His representative confirmed as Martial's that reportedly he's nowhere near on terms of signing a new long-term deal with Manchester United, and he's potentially been our best outfield player this season, of course, when he has been fully fit. Anthony Martial, of course. So potentially, you know, Arsenal and Chelsea have been monitoring and interested in as well. David De Gea, you know, he hasn't signed a new deal yet with the club. Reportedly, it come out in the press the other week that he was on the verge of signing a new deal with Manchester United. Obviously, our ex-manager Jose Mourinho, when he was here, we can call it that now, said, you know, he was happy at the club. David De Gea wanted to stay at the club. He said he was happy at the club, David De Gea. But reportedly, he did say in the press, allegedly, he was close to signing a new deal worth £400,000 a week plus bonuses, and Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain had been linked with him. as we all know, Real Madrid have been linked to him in the past as well, but we did activate that clause to extend his current contract till 2020, as that confirmed, was it last month or so, like that. So I wonder how the players react to this situation of the Mourinho sacking. Obviously Paul Pogba's put a tweet on, I think he actually deleted it immediately after he put it on, Paul Pogba, but Gary Neville says Paul Pogba needs to do one. As I said, this is what Neville said.
I think he's picked him out from that left-hand side. Wonderful delivery.
Real and accurate cross. 3-1 the scoreline.
This is what Neville said. As I said Mourinho needs to, Pogba needs to do one. This is what Gary Neville said about it, and I think he does need to do one, because there has been talks that he could be going back to Juventus in the January window. Reportedly Man United want to get rid of him, but obviously this is when Mourinho was here. Man United want to get rid of him. Reportedly he did say he actually wanted to make a return back to Juventus, where he had 4 good years with Juventus. Hasn't really proved himself in English football, as we all know, to be quite honest with you. Has the odd good game here and there, Paul Pogba, but there has been talks about him, you know, potentially making a return to Juventus. There's been talks about a swap deal with like Sandro coming to United or Pankicic coming to United as part of Pogba going back to Juventus. Alex Sandro is a good left back. He really is a good left back, is Alex Sandro. You know, he obviously was playing with Danilo at Porto, and now he's obviously at Juventus, and he won the domestic double in his first 3 seasons with Juventus as well, with Alex Sandro. But good at beating one-on-one opponents, good at driving forward, very, very good left back, and Chelsea have been linked with him in the past as well. I think Bailey's been out of favour at the club because, again, he hasn't been mainly selected this season from the start. As I said, it's been mainly Lindelof and Smalling this season. You know, to be quite fair, they have done well. You know, they've been our best centre backs this season. You know, to be quite fair, but obviously now I will be updating you on more transfer rumours later, and I'm going to look at some transfer rumours. Still keeping you up to date with what's going on. You know, about this whole story of the Mourinho sacking. I'm playing bad on FIFA, aren't I? But yeah, I think he deserves a sacking. Wasn't the right man for me at Manchester United. You know, didn't suit the trappings of the club. Team selection wrong, tactics wrong, didn't know his best 11. As I said, always using Fellaini as a plan A or plan B. That's the wrong decision as well. But I think we need a defensive midfielder in this team. Especially, definitely the midfielder. We need a strong central defender. We need an attacker as well, potentially, in my opinion. But now, if this new manager comes in anywhere, he will address the problems at Manchester United, hopefully, and he can turn us around. We know it hasn't worked out in the last 3 managerial eras. You know, it doesn't mean always because managers have got good pedigrees and they've done well with other teams that they're going to succeed at your club. As I said, but I thought Mourinho would have suited the trappings of the club, because this is a big club at the end of the day. Mourinho's, you know, we'll never forget what he's done in the past, so I do credit him for what he's done in the past. It's on Wikipedia, so if you do look on the Wikipedia page and you look at Sky Sports, you'll see what he's achieved and what honours he's won at the other clubs he's been at, such as Inter Milan, Porto, Chelsea, Real Madrid, all the clubs he's been at. But just didn't do it at Manchester United and didn't work out for him. So now Manchester United have got to focus on now. Board and the owners try to recommend the right man to come in the job. But it's weird because I didn't think Ed Woodward would have done this, because it was only, was it last week, I updated you on one of my live videos that potentially himself, Ed Woodward, George Mendes, Mourinho's representatives, and Mourinho himself had been in discussions of who to get in for the January transfer window. And, you know, obviously with what George Mendes' statement come out with saying he's happy with the club, he was aware of the rumours of Mourinho leaving the club, and he totally dispelled them. Did George Mendes? He didn't believe basically that Mourinho was going to leave the club, and he said the club were happy with him, with his progression and his work at the club. But things do change. It just shocks you sometimes, you know. As I said, I was in town, so as I usually do when I update you on my live videos, I just type, you know, when I update about transfer rumours or what's going on in the media, I just update you, really. I thought, let's look at some transfer news, if there's any other teams that link to any other players. I'll just look at some Man United news, and I looked, and as soon as I saw the first article, that was it. And I read a couple of the articles, I thought, Mourinho's been sacked from Manchester United. I thought, it's about time we sacked him. And I'm really shocked about this news, and there's nothing much more I can say now, potentially, because I'll give you everything I had to say, I'll give you my opinion on it, and I think Pochettino is the favourite to come to Manchester United, and We need a manager with a great credentials. We need a manager that has dealt with top players. We need a manager that knows what he's doing. We need a manager that understands football. We need a manager that just, knows what he's doing to come to a massive, massive club like this. And I think Pochettino would be good. I really, really do.
That is a penalty kick. But once the challenge came in, he went down without any hesitation.
And I think... Oh, for God's sake. What the hell was that?
Rodriguez.
Missed a bloody penalty. But yeah, I can't really give you any more of my opinions on it. As I said, I'll give you my perspective on it. I'll give you some of the things Gary Neville said. He said, according to him, Pochettino would be the right candidate in terms of Silva hasn't won out as a manager, but he says he has a good relationship with young players with Pochettino, as I said, but he said he was fully committed to Tottenham. Soon he said Moyes should have been given a bit more time. He was talking about the 25 years success we had under Alex Ferguson, and that's the best we saw in Manchester United. Best, good players, good attacking play, good flair, winning games. As I said, as we haven't been doing, since he retired. But Mourinho, managerial style at the club wasn't good enough. His style of play wasn't good enough, and potentially he's always seemed to blag when he was at United. All he used to blag about was what he won in the past and what he achieved. I won 3 titles, this and that and the other. We don't Man United. Now you've gone. We're all happy. That's the happiest news I've heard this season, because it's been such a bad season, as we all know. But obviously Mourinho, technically was described as the special one, but now he's not. He's described as a miserable one because he's lost his job and he's obviously out of work now. It's Jose Mourinho, and obviously Man United have been seeking the director of football or the technical director for help in the January transfer window, as I said. So yeah, Mourinho gone now, as I said. So now, so we will be keeping you up to date of what happens. Whoever the caretaker manager's going to be, we always will keep you up to date on this channel, of course. But yeah, we've still got a lot of players coming to end of the deals, and we still need to focus on getting these players new deals. There's been rumours about Valencia going as well. He's had disputes with Mourinho as well. This is why he could be going in January. But he's out of favour at the club. Chuan Zebi and Fossamenta are out on loan. Matic is making an impact. Mata hasn't been a regular start of this season. He's coming to the end of his deal as well. So to his Herrera, he's coming to the end of his deal. As we all know, Sanchez hasn't made an impact since he's come into the club. As I said, he's currently injured though till January. £500,000 a week, our highest paid player in the Premier League. He hasn't done out, so we do need another attacker, as I said. But I think this new manager, if he's really, really good, he'll get the team playing, and he'll get us playing the standard level that Manchester United should be playing, which is good football, scoring goals, winning games, getting results, as I said. Not like Mourinho, parking the bus against big opposition, as I said, and making the wrong substitutes and making the total wrong decisions, which Mourinho has been doing at this club since he's come, as I said.
Well, here's an opportunity with the ball over the top. Chance to cross it. Trying to get the cross in, nearest defender blocked it.
But yeah, a lot's been said about this story today. Mourinho, goodbye. What'll happen with Mourinho now, I do not know. But he's out of work. Will he go look for another manager job or whatever? I don't know what's going to be happening with him now. But yeah, Ed Woodward. As I said, I wanted him out of the club as well. Ed Woodward. I wanted the Glazers out. I want Paul Pogba out as well. But I think I credit Ed Woodward. He's made the right decision. He really has made the right decision because he knows the problem that's going on with Man United, and he feels as though Ed Woodward, there's going to be no faith. Well, Man United have got Jose Mourinho at Manchester United. Man United are not going to play to the potential with Jose Mourinho still in charge of this club, and he's had a long time. He's had a long time, Mourinho, to get us back competing. He's had a long time, and he has failed to meet the expectation levels, as we all currently know. And we'd have kept him, I think things would have got worse and worse and worse. Champions League, terrible. I don't know how we're in the knockouts for the Champions League. Scored 1 goal at Old Trafford, 3 we scored Harry Gold scored away from home, 6. We were lucky in the majority of them games to win. You know, and we've been losing to low oppositions this season. Brighton for the last 2 seasons at the Amex, West Ham away from home this season. You know, we were lucky to win at Bournemouth away. We're lucky to win at Juventus away in the Champions League. Crystal Palace 0-0 draw, poor performance. Southampton away 2-2 draw, poor performance. These are the teams we should be beating, as I said. But if we had kept Mourinho and we had to beat Cardiff and we had to beat Bournemouth and we had to beat Huddersfield, I still wouldn't have backed Mourinho, because their games anyway potentially we should be winning. Even if we were in the top 6 or top 7, we should still be winning them games anyway, in my opinion. So there you go. You've had all my opinion on this here of what potential managers could come in. Solskjaer could step in to become the caretaker manager. It says in the press. So if you go on the media reports, it tells you all about it. So I have given you my opinions on it. So yeah, you've had my opinions on it. There's my point of view on it. So I hope you agree with what I'm saying, because we haven't been aggressive enough in these transfer windows, especially since Mourinho's been there. We have not been aggressive enough in these transfer windows. We haven't been getting the players we want. We only got 2 under David Moyes. You know, we got players under Louis van Gaal. You know, to be fair, Herrera's made an impact since Van Gaal got in. Luke Shaw was struggling his first season with Van Gaal. You know, Di Maria came in. You know, started very, very well, then became a flop. Then we got Falcao and that into the team, and obviously then we saw, you know, quite a few of Louis van Gaal's players go. As I said, so the amount of money we have spent since Ferguson retired, which is around £800 million in total, it just hasn't worked out. But the players can be to blame as well. If the manager is making the right decisions and he is playing the right team and he's putting the players in the right positions. But Mourinho is mainly to blame. Not playing players in the right position, tactically wrong, team selection wrong, doesn't know his best starting 11. As I said, this squad, there's still quality in this squad for us to get the top 4. At least there's still enough quality in this team, because we are a big, massive club. With 25 years of success we had behind us under Alex Ferguson, and that's just gone. And since then, everything has just gone out of the window, as we all know. And against Liverpool, there was just no game plan from the start. There was no mentality. There was no confidence in the team. You know, we sat back the most of the game. You know, we just didn't do out in that Liverpool game. And Liverpool run wins round us. Absolutely run wins round us. As I said, you know, couldn't create any clinical chances. We only had 2 shots the whole game. We conceded 36 shots in that game against Liverpool. That's the most amount we've let. 36 shots against us in one Premier League match like 10 years ago or something like that as well. So it's really, really bad. It is really, really bad if you think about it as well. But Mourinho, yeah, has been paid off £22 million for the sacking, as I said. So yeah, that's about it. I can't, you know, really update you on all else. I've said what I've got to say. I've said my piece, so I'd like to know your opinions on it. It just wasn't going to work out for him. You know, a manager that's been here, he's took the club downwards, he's took the clubs backwards, and obviously, cast that aside, he hasn't met the expectation levels. He's had bad relationship with the players, he's had bad relationship with the board. So this club doesn't suit him, does it? It's as simple as that. And that's it. That's my opinions I can give you on it. I can't give you anything else. I've had to say what I've had to say about the situation, and that's been right. But when the thing gets mentioned, the caretaker manager, to that as well. But anyway, we'll get on with another game. When I'm talking, I do play bad on FIFA. I just like to talk, you know, about the team I support, and that's one good thing. It's really excited me that we have sacked Jose Mourinho, because I was backing him for such a long time, you know, I really, really was. And I thought, we're on the slope, but Mourinho has had the history, he's won stuff everywhere he's been, and he's had the history of dealing with top players and managing big teams, and I had belief in him. But it come to a certain point where I started, I had, you know, no sympathy for him. I had nothing for him, and I was no longer backing him. I was beginning to lose my patience with him. You know, after Liverpool, that's when I really lost my patience with him. And the performances this season, I've just totally lost my patience with Mourinho. I really have.
fine game for you today. Welcome
God,
to
we're
it.
start to a season since 1990. 28 years. Unbelievable.
And here it is, the starting 11 for the home side today. Eric Bailly plays with Antonio Rudiger in defence. Eric Mkhitaryan plays with Aaron Ramsey in the centre of the pitch. In attack. A great chance to go in front.
I think everything Gary Neville said is absolutely spot on. Everything Neville said was spot on. I think some of the things Keane said were spot on. You know, Graham Souness, when he said about giving Moyes a bit more time, I didn't agree with that, to be quite fair. But, you know, Ferguson was the dominant force in English football, most successful club, achieved 25 years of great success, had great players, did well in the transfer markets, got the players he wanted in. And at that time, top players wanted to join Manchester United, but if we'd have kept Mourinho, top players would have looked at it and gone, we're not joining that team, they've got a bad manager, the team's not playing for him, and why would a top player want to play for a team that's shambolic? You know what I mean, guys? You'll understand when I keep talking what I mean, and, you know.
He's not at 100% today.
Incisive pass. He's in. Rashford. They're still in trouble here. Shots on here. The defenders managed to get in the way there. Saw the pass coming and got there first. Really getting at the opposition. Brilliant pass. Can he finish it? He might not get a better chance the whole of the game.
I definitely thought that was 1-0.
It's a very good.
So we'll just get on with this game now. I'm going to be a bit quiet now. As I said.
Vision from Lacazette. He's in now. Crossed in towards Rashford. Right from the kick.
1-0.
They look like scoring. They have now.
Sharp from the off.
Just going to have a look on my phone, see if I was updated. Pochettino's not ruled the move out though, I don't think. I didn't watch his press conference, I don't know what he said. I know he has a good friendship with Mourinho though.
Even though he did get a touch.
Yeah, he's getting a few stares off his defenders. They thought he should have done better.
And that has opened the scoring. 1-0 here.
But Carrick will be training for the next couple of days, I think it said on Sky Sports or something like that.
And that's a brilliant goal. Well taken.
Oh, this is end-to-end stuff, isn't it? I hope we're in for a bit more of the same.
So away we go at 1-1. Lacazette.
But the club statement thanked his time at Manchester United in his work, and they wish him the best. They wish him the best and success in the future. The statement, you know, every manager does get that when they do get sacked in the club. They do get a statement confirming your thanks for your time and your work here. Hope you do well in the future, and it comes to plans, and you know, in the future for you as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how Mourinho reacts to this. Potentially, it's going to be interesting to see where Mourinho goes from here now. I don't know. And I don't particularly care, because now I'm focusing on Man United, trying to recommend the right man to come in and sort the issues out at United. That's all I'm interested in at this moment in time. As I said, mentioning, as I said to you guys about Mark Hughes and all this, for me, nah, I wouldn't want him as a manager. He was a great player for United, and he played well at Chelsea in his playing career, and Blackburn and that, and when he played for Barcelona in his playing career, you know, when he was young. You know, he won quite a lot of silverware then, but potentially as manager he hasn't won anything in terms of silverware. He hasn't really had long tenures at clubs as manager. And I don't think he hasn't been a really good manager, has he, Mark Hughes? I know he managed Manchester City, QPR and all that, and Blackburn Rovers, Stoke City and all that he's managed, as we all know. But, you know, the longest tenure he had was Stoke City before he actually went to Southampton, Mark Hughes, as we all currently know. But I thought he was good during his playing career. I love Laurent Blanc, you know, I love Laurent Blanc. He has a good relationship with Fergie. Obviously as well, got great experience in being in France. You know, he's dealt with top players, and he's highly experienced in France. As I said, he's obviously never ever managed in the Premier League as Laurent Blanc. I think he's available down the line now because he's not managing at the moment. He hasn't been. I think he left PSG, was it in 2016? Laurent Blanc. But his name has been mentioned on the radar as well. And he played for Manchester United as a player, Laurent Blanc, when we had all the great players. He actually played for Man United as a player, did Laurent Blanc. So that's why he has a good relationship with Fergie, because there, so that's probably why they may have a good relationship. As I said, and he played for
Lazar Markovic. Now Bay.
He played for Barcelona as a player as well, did Laurent Blanc and Montpellier in his younger days. That's where he began his youth career as a player, was Montpellier. But done well with Paris Saint-Germain as manager, won honours with Bordeaux. Obviously managed the French national team for a couple of years as well. I think he'd have the ego to come to United. I think, Pochettino is the favourite. But who would you pick? People obviously have different opinions on the situation. Who would you pick as the next Manchester United manager?
The space he's got. Oh, he's tried to place it.
Yay. So what have we won basically since Alex Ferguson retired? What have we won? We didn't win out under David Moyes. We won the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal. And we won 2 trophies under Mourinho. Well, we'll say 3 if you want to count the Community Shield. So that's 3 or 4 trophies since Alex Ferguson's retired in, 6 years? That is really, really bad considering the amount of money we've spent on players. Don't know what this guy's doing here. I'm not buying packs anymore on FIFA. I think they're a total waste of money, in my opinion. A total waste of money. So I'm not buying them anymore, as I said. And good news is we've still got some young players in that team. Like Rashford, great player who's been good this season for us. He's been scoring goals and providing as well. I think whoever the new manager comes in, I think he will, if he's a good manager, he will grow and develop. As I said, I didn't have any confidence with the young players that we've got that they would grow and develop under Jose Mourinho, because he was clueless at the club. It's as simple as that. That's my opinion. But the only thing I respect Mourinho for what he's done in the past and for getting us some silverware in the first season, getting us to the FA Cup final last season and getting us second place last season. Apart from that, I have no sympathy for Mourinho whatsoever.
Defended well. Now Bay.
I have no sympathy for him.
Henrik Mkhitaryan. Able to hold on to the ball, Mkhitaryan. Chance to go at the opposition with pace. Danny Rose.
Yeah, there's nothing much more to say on it now, guys, so we'll get on with FIFA. I know I'm annoying when I talk all the time. Oh, Lukaku.
Lukaku! Super reflexes from the goalkeeper. That's going to be a corner. And they get it away.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So close, he should have put the ball in the net.
Well, sometimes you can be too close.
Well, we're ready to go for the
But
second half.
as I said, I'm going to talk again, as I proved that sometimes the fans at the time, when they wanted David Moyes out, as I said, there were people at that time recommending Klopp, Jose Mourinho and all that to come in, and they thought at that time Mourinho would be the right man. But now they're proven to be wrong, because Mourinho has not proven to be the right man at United while he's been here. And all I can say is goodbye Mourinho, you're no longer Manchester United manager.
Did well, stuck out the foot, cut off the pass. Good position, they've worked this attack very well into quite a dangerous position now. Could get the ball into the box now. I think that's a good performance, isn't it, Alan, from him in the first half? With good vision. Just the keeper to beat. Kept his concentration, the goalkeeper, and because of that, kept hold of the ball.
Yeah, he seems to feel the goal, this lad. He's quite an imposing keeper.
He's got support here. Rashford. He can put them in front. Gabriel Jesus! Oh, that's what we've come to see. That's a brilliant goal.
Last game, guys. I will be going off this stream. As I said, we'll be back later. If any more news updates about what's officially being announced today. Maybe give you a bit of an update on a bit of transfer rumours that's going on with other teams as well, as we always do on this channel.
Yeah, he's a fine finisher, this boy, and never panics. Passes it into that corner.
Gabriel Jesus. Shoots! Well, that could be the insurance goal here.
That little bit of daylight that they were after.
Well, that was a goal that hasn't caught us by surprise.
No, I think we could all see that one coming, and the keeper more than most.
Just a reminder, 3-1 it is now, the scoreline. Now they're looking to get forward from this position. Lacazette slips it through. Rashford. They're trying to dispossess him. Maybe just kicked it a little bit there, and pass goes straight to the opposition. Neatly intercepted. Mahrez. Rashford. Henrik Mkhitaryan. Gabriel Jesus. Was a chance maybe to hit the target. He certainly went for strength.
Nothing wrong with the connection either.
Roberto Firmino. I love that. The skill. That's a clever pass. He stopped him in the nick of time. Here's Bellerin. A chance to break away now on the counter. Lukaku. Real chance. Rashford, the target for that cross. Cleared away, well away from goal. They've got plenty of distance into the clearance, but actually it's going to come back at them again. Tackle goes in. Now Mahrez.
Playing bad on FIFA, me. But you just tuned in. You watch all the video again. As I've updated today, the big breaking news about Jose Mourinho officially being sacked as Manchester United manager. Club statements confirmed it today. Officially being sacked. Thanking his time at the club and hoping success in the future and thanking his work. As I said, but it's become a real shock to me about Mourinho being sacked. But I won't go through all it again with you. I've given you my opinions on it, and that's it. And I'd love to know how you react to it. I've given you all of it, the news on my opinions on it. My first video I did Mourinho being sacked. Did give me my views on my second video, and I've give you all my views and key points on this video as well. So watch the whole videos that I've just all the 3 videos I've done today. Well, this is my 3rd one today, and you'll hear all my opinions I've got to say on the Mourinho sacking situation.
Taken by Barkley. Mourinho! And he knocks in the goal.
Want to know your opinions on it?
Following the corner.
It's all about the delivery that led to this goal. Right on the spot, that corner was.
Very good build-up, Alan. Very good goal.
Well, nothing wrong with the service, and certainly nothing wrong with that finish.
I have to say, it's so one-sided today, but all credit to the team that are racking up the goals. Saw the pass coming and got there first. Rashford can pull it back here. They set up a chance. And they're in to score to...
Make a substitution. I told you I don't buy packs on this game anymore. Waste of money, you never get the players you want. I bought Lukaku on this, yeah, I bought him. I sold Giroud, even though he was my top scorer. I don't really rate Giroud, to be quite honest with you, but I did sell him anyway.
Choose the deficit. Prospect of even more goals. 4-2 is the score. Depay challenges for the ball. Rashford. Plenty of space out wide, and they're going to use it. It'll be a throw now after the tackle. Now Danilo. Eric Bailly. There's the interception.
Number 24. And number 4.
Roberto Firmino. Pass threaded through. Played in the clear. He's reached it and turned it aside.
For God's sake.
They've got a corner now. Short corner designed to move the opposition around in the middle. Going in for goal. Shot off. Got in the way. Trying to turn over the play here. Maybe the counter-attack is on here. Ramsey. Clever ball. Can find some space here on the flanks. Gets his cross in. And that's really the way to get the ball out of the danger zone. Oh, love that. The skill. Just the keeper to beat. Beautifully guided past the goalkeeper.
Fucking hell.
Tough times for the man in goal.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the business, isn't it, between the sticks. If you make a mistake, quite often it ends up with a goal.
I don't think we expected this. Such a one-sided affair.
Last game anyway, guys. I'm going off, so I hope you enjoyed the stream. Give it a watch when I come off on the other videos I've done today. If you do consider, drop a like, and if you do consider, subscribe to the channel, as always. But I'm giving my opinions. That's my opinions I've given on the Jose Mourinho sacking in the news today. I've given you my opinions on who could come in and who would be my potential favourite manager to come in. And it would be Pochettino or it would be Zinedine Zidane, so I have given you my opinions on it. So, as I said, the caretaker manager will be announced in the next 48 hours or so. Probably it's going to be someone out of the club, of what I heard of. He said it could be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he could be in line for it.
Looks the goalkeeper in the eye. The ball's loose. Goalkeeper made the save.
Yeah, let me know your opinions on it. So watch all this video back.
Wasn't it? We all thought that was going to be in.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a
Here's
minute
Antonio Rudiger.
of added time.
Romelu Lukaku. A chance to break away now on the counter. Shredding it through. He's going to try it. Goalkeeper can only parry it out.
Oh, for God's sake.
1 minute left on the clock. Aaron Ramsey.
There we go, game over. Poor performance again. I tend to play bad when I'm streaming on Ultimate Team, but when I'm actually not streaming I play better because I'm not talking as much. I know I can be annoying, but I just like to get my opinions across on this channel of what's going on with the news and all this. So anyway, I'm going to be going off now, maybe doing another live video later on if more things update about what's been, you know, the breaking news today of Mourinho's being officially Applejacked for Manchester United. So yeah, on FIFA, I've still got 82,000 coins, 300 FIFA points, 135, lost 147 and drawn 64. As I said, but thank you for your time today. Drop me comments, likes below the channel. If you do consider it, subscribe. As always, take care, God bless. I'll see you guys all again very, very soon.